So today's race in Bathurst, we'll see some people who were very close last year and competed very well but didn't quite take the crown last year. Sean Lewis and Liz Smith I think will compete very well today. Of course we've got Jason English there, the winner of the series last year, the winningest rider ever in terms of 24-hour mountain bike riders in the world. So you can never knock Jason out of a competition. He's always going to be there competing. But I think Sean would be my hot tip for today, and Liz Smith in the women's. Again, she's been in some great form lately.
I know there's a lot of fast riders out there today that definitely will be quicker than me over the 3 to 4 hour mark. So I'm just hoping that that extra 5 or 6 hours will be where it sort of the race unfolds and position will change around. So we'll see how we go. This track's a fairly fast and fairly straightforward track. It's just going to be a battle of who can sort of sustain the intensity for the whole 6 hours, I think. Sean Lewis is here. He's finished a couple of places in front of me, so he's faster over that sort of 4 or 5 hours. So 6 hours, who knows? I know Andrew Lloyd's been doing a lot of road racing and sort of will smash everyone for the first 2 or 3 hours, but whether he can hold it for the 6 hours, or we'll have to see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're underway.
Right from the start, the riders took off at a furious pace with a velodrome start, the first I've seen in a mountain bike event. It was local rider Craig Hutton, with a bit of velodrome skills, who launched out on that first lap and led the way up the climb. Sean Lewis had one tactic, and that was to open up an early lead. Sean Lewis, the solo rider, off a big win last week, he's come out and blasted the first lap. First in after lap 1. On lap 2, again, Sean Lewis came through, but this time, Andrei Slezik and Mikhail Kafka, Team Quantum Racing, were right on his heels, and they looked like they wanted to take the lead. At that point in time, Sean Lewis had about a 15 to 20 second gap over Jason English, Ed McDonald, Andrew Lloyd and Callum McNamara. It was on lap 5, 6 and 7 that things really got hot. On lap 6, Jason English did a 21.50. Bear in mind the fastest lap is a 21.36. That was a ridiculous pace. He caught up to Sean Lewis. Together they did a 22-minute lap. In a 4-5 hour event, that's not possible. But this is 6 hours. They cannot maintain that pace, and they knew it. By lap 8, sensibility came into it, and they slowed down to a more sensible 23 and 24-minute time. But they are together. Lewis's tactic was to get away. English's tactic, stay with Lewis. Solo women, Liz Smith was always touted as the one to beat, having come off a win last week and second in the series last year. You expected her to do well in this first event. She's taken a big lead, almost a full lap on Elise Burris. With Melinda Allen, I think she's just holding on in third place. Second and third is going to be a battle, but Liz Smith, if she maintains the status quo, she'll come out the winner today. In the teams category, Quantum Racing have dominated since the second lap. Mikhail Kafka, Andrei Slezik, absolutely smashing out with very fast times. The GPM Stilts team, the young Cochrane brothers, local boys, Bathurst, they're holding on to second. They're losing probably a minute a lap, and at this rate, I think second's the best they can do. Possibly the most interesting category is the oldest category, the 50-plus men. 3 men went out very fast, and it was Michael Inglis who took the lead. He opened a gap over pre-race favourite Gary James. Gary James had Michael O'Connor on his wheel. For a while, the 3 were separated by less than a minute. Halfway point, and it was Gary James who finally took the lead, just leaving about a 30-second gap to Michael Inglis. In the Masters category, Women's Masters 40 plus, it is Alyssa Rogan who is leading the way over Claudia Feiss. And in the 50 plus, Wendy Stevenson is pretty much dominant as she was last year in the 50 plus. In the 40 plus men, it's Sam Coulter from the Central Coast amazingly has made it to the front. He was a big deficit behind the rider of Thompson, but suddenly at the halfway mark he's made it to the front.
One of the things that we really found last year was that as the series went on, more and more people found out about it and more people were keen to be involved in it. So it's always hard starting a new series, and the first race, obviously, you're starting off and you don't know how many numbers are going to turn up, you don't know how many races, what level of races, but as the series wore on, the quality of the races got better. We had more of the higher standard races in Australia coming along and competing, and so by the end we had some really good racers and some really good racing, and I think very tight at the end. So this year started off again with people knowing about the series, so we're already a fair way in front of last year's. Some of the survey results from last year were quite amazing. We found that half the people that competed in the Evocities Series came from major metropolitan areas like Sydney and Canberra, but more importantly, most of those people had never been to the city that they competed in. So it was really exposing those Evocities to a whole new range of people, especially in metropolitan areas, which is obviously the overall aim of the series, is to expose these wonderful Evocities to metropolitan people.
Since last year, early on, the council has built the world-class BMX facility, which is a supercross course. They held the national championships here about 4 weeks ago. We've got 2 major facilities here, plus a mountain bike course now. Cyclocross might be next. We've got a criterium course coming, so yeah, it is a real cycling hub for the region.
I don't mind the climbs, and there was, the descents were a lot of fun. So it was a course where you could keep consistency for most of the time. So, I really did enjoy that course.
Coming off the World Championships in New Zealand, that must have given you a big boost.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a difference between 6 and 24 though. So this one you've got to go a little bit harder. But I just tried to keep the consistency there, same as when you're doing a 24. And I knew that all the training going into a 24, that even though I haven't done too much since, that was going to get me through all the lead up I did before that.
One winner of the Evocities Mountain Bike Series, Liz Smith.
It was a bit of a tough time, and Michael took first lap a bit easy, and then we decided to kind of level the pace up, and I think I did my fastest lap in lap 2 and put a bit of gap on everyone, and then we tried to hold it all the race. So yeah, it was a good one.
Your pairs champion and outright champions of round 1 Evocities.
Yeah, we weren't too sure how we were both going to go today. We didn't know who the competition was. Josh has been coming off injury.
Obviously special riding with your brother. You're used to fighting at home, but out on the track, had a great time.
Yeah, we love racing as a pair because we don't actually have to see each other, so it's perfect.
So I did go out pretty hard. Last year I was able to get a gap and hold it, but yeah, this year Jace looked like he really wanted to ride with me and he kept chasing me back, and I'm like, well, I can't go any faster. So I just kept trying to look for little weaknesses during the race, and if there was a gap there, tried to push it and take some advantage where I could.
Well, I kind of picked it from my point of view that your tactic was to get the gap. His tactic was to glue himself to your wheel and make sure you didn't get the gap. Halfway through, it looked like it was working for Jason English.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jason's probably climbing a bit better than me today as well. So yeah, he put me under pressure a few times up the climb, and luckily I was able to get back on the descent, or maybe even squeeze past him to get a little bit of a gap on the descent sometimes, and then yeah, make use of that.
I guess I'm in a situation where, because I haven't been doing much high intensity stuff, I didn't know exactly what I could do. So I thought my only way to try and, stop him from doing or getting a bit of a gap is to try and stay on his wheel. So that was my tactic from the start. I knew I was pushing too hard for, several times during that event, but it's sort of, a situation where you don't actually know what you've got until you to have a bit of a go.
2 or 3 laps to go, I was feeling tired, but I had a look at Jace in the face, and he actually he looked a bit worse, I thought. So I thought, oh, maybe I don't feel too bad. So I kept to my tactics and, kept trying to push on the descents.
It's the last couple of laps, I think we were both sort of looking at each other, and, we could tell that we'd had a hard race. And for me, position's not that critical at the end of the race. If you've given it 100%, you're absolutely busted. So that was definitely the case today. So I had a great time out there.
The winner of round 1 and the current series leader of the Evocities Mountain Bike Series, Sean Lewis.